Welcome to the What Is Stoicism podcast.
Welcome to the What Is Stoicism podcast. I appreciate you joining me. This episode will just be a short introduction on what Stoicism is, where it came from, and why anyone would want to practice it. I'll keep it brief here because future episodes will go into more detail on a lot of this, but if you'd like more information on anything that's covered here, you can of course go to the website, which is whatisstoicism.com, and if you search for what you're looking for there, I'm sure you'll find it. If you don't, and there's something you don't understand, and you think you'd benefit from a further explanation, please do let me know, and I'll do my best to provide one. With that being said, let's take a look at what Stoicism is. Stoicism, or Stoic philosophy, is a philosophy of personal ethics and a methodology for seeking practical wisdom in life. That's the one-line answer. In a bit more detail, it is centered around 4 cardinal virtues, and those are wisdom, courage, temperance, and justice. And the whole framework of the philosophy is derived from these 4 virtues. Stoicism was founded by a man called Zeno of Citium in Athens around 300 BC, and the name comes from the Stoa Poikile, where Zeno taught from, and that translates literally as the painted porch. Stoicism was one of the major schools of philosophy from the Hellenistic period through to the Roman era, and its history is usually divided into 3 phases. Early Stoa, which is the 3rd century BC, Middle Stoa, which is the 1st and 2nd century BC, and Late Stoa, which is the 1st and 2nd century AD. Moving on from Zeno, there were many other Stoic philosophers who helped shape the philosophy over the years, and the best known of these today would be Lucius Annaeus Seneca, otherwise known as Seneca the Younger, Epictetus, and the Roman philosopher Marcus Aurelius. So why would anyone want to practice a 2,000-year-old philosophy today, and why are so many actually doing it? Well, let's look at some of the benefits. Stoicism can help us be more resilient by seeking the value in whatever happens, by lessening the impact of events by visualizing them beforehand, and by viewing adversity as essential in building strength. It can make us more content by keeping in mind that obtaining the object of our desires doesn't always tend to grant the satisfaction we imagined, by trying to have preferences instead of desires, and by trying to want what we already have in order to maintain our appreciation of it. It can make us more useful because Stoics believe humans exist for the sake of one another. They seek to help others without seeking to be rewarded, and they strive to learn new things. It can help us be less angry by teaching us to observe an emotion before acting on it, by making us aware that not every matter requires an opinion. It can make us less anxious by helping us focus only on what we can control, by helping us appreciate the present moment, and helping us not to dwell on the past or obsess over the future. It can help us to be less reactive by teaching us to question common judgments in favour of seeing things for what they are, by teaching us to examine criticism, and if it's just, then we accept it and learn from it. And it can help us be less reactive by knowing that we aren't insulted by a person, but by our own opinion that an insult is insulting. It may not be immediately obvious how we realise these benefits, but the key thing about Stoicism is that it's a practice. We have to train ourselves if we're to be more resilient, more content, more useful, less angry, less anxious, less reactive. It sounds like hard work, and sometimes it is, but it's worth it, and you're not alone. We're all learning. There is no perfect Stoic. So this podcast, along with the website and social media accounts, aims to give you what you need, not just to learn about Stoicism, but to really practice it and benefit from it. I aim to create a variety of types of episodes with the podcast, from short reflections to longer Stoic text readings to practical exercises. And again, if there's something you'd like to see covered or any feedback you'd like to give, please feel free to reach out. The website and social media links will be in the show notes to every episode. Thanks for listening.